How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading when the price is going up or down. So FBF, Bahama Court, ruled in favor of him to not have some of his charges included currently. So they're on pause because they say that his legal process needs to be finished with the other proceedings until these can be added. So they aren't saying no to the additional charges, which are down here for like bribery and fraud and conspiracy, but they are saying they will not charge him at this time. Binance set to leave Cyprus ahead of MiCA legislation. Title makes it sound a little worse than it is. Binance told Decrypt it is focusing efforts on fewer regulated entities in the EU. They're basically focusing on France, Italy, and Spain. So they want to minimize how many branches they have in the EU region. France, Italy, and Spain will fall under the MiCA laws, so they're working to fall more compliant. They're working on that for the next 18 months. So this isn't them trying to withdraw because of MiCA. They're making sure they can have a more directed approach to becoming compliant with MiCA over the next 18 months. Ripple legal chief calls for investigation into former SEC director Hinman. So Stuart Aldery, the chief legal officer at Ripple, is calling for a new investigation into Hinman. They want to know, he stated that ETH shouldn't be considered a security as it was sufficiently decentralized, something that caused confusion when they went to sue Ripple, because Ripple is saying, hey, we're decentralized, so we should not be a security. Hinman invented factors that should have been taken into consideration when determining what sufficiently decentralized actually means. So he was creating his own way to give Ethereum a pass when he was doing this and caused the confusion. An investigation must be conducted to understand what or who influenced Hinman, why conflicts were ignored, and why the SEC touted the speech knowing that it would create a greater confusion. SEC and Binance US to negotiate deal avoiding total asset freeze. So shutting down would completely harm all the customers for Binance US, so the SEC and Binance US are working on a deal probably to keep the customer-facing operations open while the back-end books and stuff keeps frozen from Binance US's being able to touch. This will be decided by the end of tomorrow. So we will hear some more, hopefully tomorrow, about this. SEC asked for more time to respond to Coinbase's call for crypto clarity. They're calling for a lot more time. The regulator claimed that the mandamus petition should be denied, but anticipated they would be able to make a recommendation on the petition of rulemaking over the next 120 days. So they're going to take 4 months to decide how they determine what's a security and what framework they should use. So it's going to take 4 months of them dragging more people to court probably. So over on our total market cap, we are getting a bit of a break. RSI is falling down, stochastic is falling, money flow is coming out very aggressively, our VWAP is very weak, and our momentum isn't really getting very much curl from that double green dot. So we're not looking the strongest. Bitcoin dominance, I believe, I saw something that said it's at the highest point in the last 2 years. We could look at like the monthly and zoom in. So August 21. So yeah. So one of the highest points it's been in a very long time. So we could see some cool off just because of that. Our stochastic is getting a bearish cross. RSI is kind of cooling off. Momentum's starting to come out. Our VWAP is getting close to that neutral zone, so it could break down. Our money flow is kind of iffy. It wants to go bullish, but it's not really getting any lift off now that it broke through neutral, so we may see it flop over. And that would not be good for Bitcoin, as that would mean money is probably going to go into our stable coins. So over on our futures, we do have a new gap that we created today. Sort of. We filled this wick. We are below the value area low. So we could get this gap down to 20k, and then we may see these other gaps fill that we did create, the one right here and the one right here. So we now have 2 gap ups in this zone, as well as that one lower gap down. Our RSI is falling, stochastic is falling, VWAP is rejecting away, momentum's coming out, and our money flow is pretty flat. Over on Bitcoin, we are breaking, at least attempting to break through support at our 25K level that we did warn about quite a while ago. If we confirm under here, and tomorrow we stay under here, then we could see further action down through this support. If we do not hold that support, we could see even further downside, and it would be very volatile from down there because we have no volume here. We have some right here that could hang us for a while, but we have like nothing here, so if we break this zone, we could see a really big wick down. So just keep that in mind. Our RSI is pointing down, stochastic is starting to get a bearish cross and fall, VWAP is rejecting the neutral, money flow is coming out, and our momentum is printing a red dot, so momentum is losing ground as well. Over on the 4 hour, we do have a red X that is bringing us down currently. Stochastic and RSI are just bleeding, momentum is bleeding, VWAP is just way down. We broke through a pretty decent support area for our VWAP. You may see that come back up and retest that area. Money flow is coming out, so overall we're very bearish on the 4 hour as well. Over on the 2 hour, the stochastic is coming down. Money flow is in the bearish territory, was bullish, so that was trying to prop us up, but now we are breaking bearish. It'll be important to see if this maintains the bearish trend. Our VWAP is trying to head up, momentum is coming down, so overall we're more bearish leaning here. Our 4 hour, with that being bearish, if the 2 hour flips bullish, this could start to curl back up. Over on the 1 hour, we are in bearish territory for our money flow. Our VWAP is starting to curl away, momentum is starting to curl up, so we're very indecisive. Stochastic wants to run up, and our RSI is slightly starting to lose. We are kind of pushing away from this support level, so it's going to be important to watch where this money flow goes. If it does cross bullish, we could see some upside through this resistance area. However, if it maintains this bearish trend, we could see some further downside. Over on graph, our RSI is falling, stochastic is beat down as it can be, has no strength at all. VWAP is struggling to break through this neutral zone, money flow is coming out, and our momentum is trying to curl, but it's just going flat now, so we're not getting a green dot, and we're kind of just flattening out, as it really doesn't have much more room to come down. It has a little bit, like, past these green dots, but not very much after that. So over here we are starting our breakdown after just crabbing away from our pattern. We did make more of like a channel, so we could be within a pattern still. Oops. That could be a rising wedge yet. Just get rid of this. So may have a little more downside. Actually, looks more like no. Alright, usually I draw my patterns on my phone. So we have a bit of a triangle. This could be a symmetrical triangle, but it could also be a bear pendant. So that could break us lower to the 7 cent area, so watch out for that. Our stochastic is falling, RSI is falling, VWAP is falling, money flow is starting to fall, momentum's coming out with a red dot. So with this manipulation X, if we do fall away from here, we could see some further downside. So just be wary of that. But if we do push up, it is a symmetrical triangle, so we do have a slight possibility for it to break up as well. And we could try to regain this 10 cent area. So that's about the only patterns we have right now. Our stochastic on our 2 hour is falling very bad. Momentum's coming down very sharp. RSI is crashing. Money flow is coming out. It's in the bearish territory. Broke through just a candle ago. Our VWAP is falling very sharply. So overall, we're looking like we could see some further downside. And it could be a strong volatile move down if we continue to fall like this. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is trying to make a bullish cross, but our RSI is pointing down. We are around that neutral zone, so it's going to be important if we can push off of here or not. Money flow is starting to round out on the 1 hour, so that's not too good. If that money flow can curl back up, that would be good for us, but we'll need to see that soon. Our VWAP was trying to come up actually, but it's trying to flatten out and curl away. We are meeting a resistance area. You can see some touches back here. So just be wary of that, as we could curl away and see some further downside with that as well. Over on Anchor, we have a pretty decent drop from today. We pretty much got our full measured move. Our RSI is falling, stochastic is falling, money flow is coming out. Our momentum's pretty flat here, so our momentum really doesn't have anywhere it can go. So it's just gonna ride this until we get some push up. So don't worry about dropping, because it really can't right now. Did not mean to go to XRP yet. Our stochastic is falling, RSI is falling. Money flow is rejecting away from that neutral. VWAP is falling, momentum is falling, so the 4 hour is not looking too strong here. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic is falling pretty harsh. RSI was crashing very harshly. It's trying to taper out, so we'll have to see if we can curl and get some support here around this neutral area. Money flow is in the bearish territory. VWAP's coming down, momentum's coming down. So overall, we're a little more bearish leaning, and we are starting to break down. We're going to have to look for a new pattern from here, because we pretty much made our full move. So if our total goes up, likely this will go up. We'll have to kind of watch what patterns form over the next few hours over most of our coins. Now, stochastic is trying to curl. RSI is flat. Stochastic's running up. VWAP's trying to come up, but it's starting to curl away just under that neutral zone, so our VWAP isn't very strong right now. It could possibly get some further downside. Money flow is overall curling out. We do have bullish momentum with it, but we are getting close to that neutral zone, so just be wary. Over on XRP, we took a pretty big dump. I have been warning that this pattern didn't look the strongest, especially since the Hinman emails turned out to be nothing. I expected to see a decent dump after that. Our next support area would be around this 38-cent area if we break through this 45 range. So we're kind of at the top of a range coming into a new range. So if we don't bounce off of it and get some new buyers, we could see some further selling pressure as we can sell, kind of like I said yesterday. RSI is starting to curl off. Momentum's coming out. We have a red dot on our momentum. Stochastic's beat down. Money flow is pretty flat above that bullish territory. Not looking too strong. VWAP is coming down, so overall we're starting to crash. I'm going to get rid of this pattern because at this point it's null and void. Now on the 4 hour, RSI is falling, stochastic is falling, VWAP is rejecting away from that neutral, money flow is coming out, momentum is coming down. So the 4 hour we're starting to look a little more bearish leaning than bullish, especially with the money flow, the RSI crashing, and the momentum coming down. Over on the 2 hour, we tried to kind of flatten out a little while ago, and we just got a pretty big candle down and started to dump. We may try to flatten out again and give a little bit of a curl, so watch out for that. Our VWAP is trying to curl up, but we did reject away from crossing that neutral zone, and we just skimmed across it for quite some time. Stochastic is falling, RSI is falling, so overall we're pretty beat down on the 2 hour. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic is trying to run up, RSI is falling away, money flow is starting to come out, we're getting close to that neutral zone. VWAP is very weak in the bullish territory, and we do have a double green dot on our momentum, but we may flatten out like most of our other coins if we don't get some money flow starting to come in. If this money flow continues to weaken, that momentum really won't carry us very far. Last but not least, on Algo, not really dropping quite as bad as XRP, more in line with some of our other coins, actually the best performer today. RSI is falling, stochastic is running up, VWAP is pretty flat, money flow is starting to come away, and our momentum is trying to curl up, so we are trying to push away. We got this little inverse hammer candle, so this could be a little bit of a top pattern. We'll have to kind of watch. Back here we had the inverse where it was a red then a green candle. We have a green then a red, but we'll have to kind of see what happens. These wicks do show that buyers tried to come up and sellers were able to suppress us, so we tried to get our full move, but the sellers ultimately brought us back down. Over on the 4 hour, our price pretty much went up, snapped back down. Stochastic is falling, RSI is falling, momentum's falling with a red dot, so we could see some further downside. VWAP is falling away, money flow is in the bearish territory, starting to curl away from that neutral zone. So the 4 hours more bearish than bullish, and we are coming back into the support range. So if we do break it, be wary of that those lower targets I was warning about in previous videos. So Stochastic is falling, momentum's coming down, we have that red dot. RSI is falling, money flow is pretty flat, right around that 9, we're not really able to maintain above it. So if we break down and start to curl, we could see some further downside. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory and coming down, so overall we're a little more bearish leaning. We have this manipulation X as well. Could be like a double top, kind of goofy, like messy double top, so we could see some further downside from that as well. Our stochastic is falling, RSI is trying to come up, money flow, this is on the 1 hour. Money flow is trying to get a little bit of a curl, so that is hopeful for a bounce off of this level. If this money flow does curl, we could see a possible bounce and possibly test this resistance still. Our VWAP is trying to come up, so overall we're a little hopeful looking, but I'd say we're more bearish leaning than bullish, but algo has been beat down more than most other coins, so we could see a little bit of a pump to recover some of those as all the hacks and other issues are starting to subside away. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.